What's going on, guys? Got back in the cage today. Got one of the more hyped up bats in recent memory here. Probably the, honestly, I don't remember the last time there's been kind of like this much hype on a bat. I would say maybe like the Hype Fire in recent memory is really the only one. Pretty much sold out everywhere. Soldier Tank. Yeah, you know, color is not going to be for everybody, but supposedly very hot. So let's get in the cage and see how it goes.
Feels like an alloy bat.
Feels like an alloy bat?
The ball comes off like an alloy bat. For me. It doesn't feel like an alloy bat to me.
Water?
Yeah.
Nope.
The ball just kind of comes off like a alloy bat.
That's not bad. That's pretty hard. That's straighter.
That's
How much is that?
Good. That's pretty hard. So, mix in change it. So, wide throw.
Whoa.
Or you gripping it.
Here, let me go.
balls.
Pardon?
You think this one's less sticky?
I don't know. Maybe you can try it. Not gonna block any.
Alright, just got done taking some cuts with the Soldier Tank. All in all, pretty good, I thought. What'd you think about it?
It felt good. I felt like an alloy bat basically, but this one kind of felt like my Icon. It hit good for the most part.
Yeah, I think that he might say it swung a little bit like an alloy bat, just probably because of the sound that it made. Um, Honestly, it doesn't really sound like the Drop 8 or the Drop 5. Maybe the Drop 8. I haven't really heard too much of the Drop 8, but it doesn't sound like the Drop 5, which makes me wonder if it does need a little bit more breaking in. It did have kind of that metal ting to it, which I think maybe why he says that. I know he did also mention he really liked the taper of the knob on this one. Said it felt really good. Probably a little bit lighter swinging than your Icon, you think?
Yeah, maybe a little bit lighter.
Yeah, a little bit lighter than his Icon. He mentioned that. Yeah, all in all, pretty good session in the cage, and we'll talk about it more in the office. What's going on, guys? Back in the office after doing some hitting earlier today with the Soldier Tank. Probably one of the most hyped up bats right now in all of USSSA. It's maybe the most hyped, especially since the Hype Fire ban and Drop 5 in Perfect Game. And yeah, we wanted to get our hands on it and see what it's all about in the Drop 10 space, because obviously, people see the videos of the Drop 8 being crazy hot, or even sometimes the Drop the Drop 5s being crazy hot, and sometimes the Drop 8s. And there's just much less content out there showing off the Drop 5s. And what a lot of people don't realize that they do swing very differently, and the barrels react very differently, pertaining to the drop. The Hype Fire and the Drop 5 is crazy hot, but the Drop 8 and Drop 10 were much less so compared to, its peers. I think straight up that the Icon has a better bat in Drop 10 than it is than the Hype Fire is, rather. The Soldier Tank, talk about it here for a second. I have heard some pretty concerning durability concerns. Ours probably has about 150 hacks on it right now. Nothing to report. Looks basically new still. So can't say anything about that, but my experience isn't everybody else's experience. We'll talk about the bat a little bit. It did, I know Lucas in kind of our intro mentioned that he felt like it was almost like an alloy bat. And I think that's honestly him reacting to the sound of the bat, because it does have like a lot more of that like pingy sound when you hit off this bat, which makes me almost wonder if this Drop 10 version needs to be broken in a good bit more versus something like the Icon's a little bit more hot out of the wrapper, I think. It was kind of like the Icon in Drop 5 and Drop 8 versus Drop 10, or the Hype Fire in Drop 5 and Drop 8 versus Drop 10. The Drop 5 and Drop 8s usually come a lot more hot out of the wrapper for whatever reason. Why that is, I'm not sure. But this bat did kind of have a lot more of a pingy sound. That being said, he still hit really well with it. He still hit, he did mention that it was very light swinging. This bat, if you actually take it onto a scale, will show a bit heavy. I'll have to break out the scale again to see exactly what it was, but it was actually pretty heavy. But what a lot of that is coming from is to create this taper here, there's a plastic piece right here, and this is just the handle itself is like pretty thick. So I think a lot of the weight is actually like down here, so it doesn't really affect how the barrel swings. My son Lucas even described it as it swung lighter than his Icon did. So take that for what you will. But I do think that this is a pretty light swinging bat in the Drop 10 space. He did mention, obviously, once again, going to be fully preference. He really liked the tapered knob. Kind of in the war stick style, not fully, but, not the full down knob like war stick, but that good taper to it. Yeah, all in all, guys, it was a really interesting. It did fairly well keep up with, the Axe Avenge Pro and the and the Icon. The Icon has been a little bit hotter than both the Avenge Pro and the Soldier Tank. Is that because it's a little bit more broken in? Maybe. You know, it's been a few hot miles an hour higher on exit velo. Maybe that's due to it being broken in, maybe not. But all in all, guys, it did actually perform really well. All the posts online about durability do concern me a little bit. That being said, not a whole lot of kids break drop 10 bats. It happens from time to time, but you know, I wouldn't be too concerned buying this bat for my kid if I was. I mean, they obviously have a warranty for it too if you do happen to break it. All in all, guys, if you can stomach the rainbow puke color, which I don't know, it's kind of grown on me a little bit. I do think that the Soldier Tank is a really good bat. I think it's very light swinging. I like the taper on the knob. And it did perform really well, you know, even for a bat that I'm not fully sure if it's even broken in yet. Because like I said, it's got maybe about 150 swings on it. I see like a little tiny bit of like paint ruffling here, but like I think that's just the paint. I don't think that's like anything. I honestly think that's because of the way that this bat is like painted. But yeah, all in all, guys, I think really good bat. I do think it's one of the top contenders in the drop 10 space. I think it, along with the Icon, the Avenge Pro, it swung really good. Yeah, I do think this is a worthy bet. I won't say it lives up to the hype essentially as far as like it's crazy hot. If you're not swinging this, you're doing yourself wrong, that sort of a thing. But I do think it is really good. I think it's very light swinging, which is good for a lot of kids at this age in the drop 10 space. And yeah, you know, we do have some pretty cool stuff coming out, guys. So if you do want to see more drop 10 reviews coming out, we're about to get the CF Zen, the new one, or I guess what they call it, just the Zen now. So the DeMarini Zen, we're about to get our hands on that one. We're about to get the new Warstick composite, the Cadex 2 composite when it comes out. And we got I find this one exciting. We got something that a lot of people consider to be the hottest drop 10 ever made. And we're kind of in the middle of breaking it in to see if that's true. Got our hands on one of the Easton Silver Bullets, the White Label XL1 Silver Bullet. Skinny barrel, obviously. A lot of people consider this to be the hottest drop 10 bat of all time, and even in the drop 5s and drop 8s, when they're actually fully broken in. This one's, I don't think, was swung very much, still really in good condition, so it still has that pingy sound to it, and I think we need to break it in a lot. But all in all, guys, Soldier Tank did really well. I think it's a very interesting option for their first, you know, delve into the USSSA space. And if your kid likes it, you want a light swinging, you know, pretty good performing composite bat, it's definitely a good option. All right, guys, as always, I'll see you on the field. Any questions, put them in the comments. Like and subscribe. So my kid just likes seeing the numbers go up. We just do this for fun. But as always, guys, have a good one.